Hi, welcome to the channel. Welcome back. I'm still in the UK. Um, the health matter that I'm looking into or that I should be doing is taking a bit longer than expected, but it's not too bad. Anyway, so what are we going to look at today? Today, I'm going to explore three main reasons why sometimes taking a longer break outside Nigeria is actually better for my mental health, my emotional well-being. And as such, I will look at three reasons why it is good sometimes if you can do it, and I can do it because obviously, being of British Nigerian origin, I can go in and out of UK, in and out of Nigeria. So I can do it. And if you can, why is it probably beneficial to take long breaks sometimes out of Nigeria? I've been spending, so far, I think I spent nearly 3 months in the UK. And what I found is that I've actually been replenished, re energized. So when I do finally go back to Nigeria, I think I will be ready for it. So, what are the three reasons why I want to look at why I feel I need a break from Nigeria from time to time? The first is what I will call compassion fatigue. One of the key things about retirement is you have to give yourself something to do when you're retired. It could be you go into work, I don't know, start a business. I haven't been trained as a social worker both in Nigeria and in the UK. On the other hand, decide to volunteer my time running projects, managing projects in Nigeria when I'm there. And there are two particular ones I do. For the past 4 years, I've been doing one in Abuja, on the outskirts of Abuja, the a very low income area called Waru, bordering around Wasa Waru resettlement access, where I work with internally displaced people's communities, working with children, working with adolescents, getting them into secondary schools and trying to raise their achievements. And my partner, she has a community health center there as well, and I help in that center by developing mental health training for primary care health staff there. And when I'm in Lagos, Badagry, I've started looking at how I work with secondary school teachers to develop school counseling, to develop, what would I say, um, substance misuse work, because Badagry apparently has a very high level of adolescents using drugs. Well, I wouldn't say high, but a a particular level that they've noticed, and they've asked me to do some work with them. So those are the two areas I work in. I volunteer in. I do unpaid work uh, in, and also, last year, year before last, I was also lucky to be funded by European University UK. Got a small grant to also do a peace education program in Abuja. Now, where does the compassion fatigue come in? It comes in the fact that I'm working with very low income communities. They can't afford to pay. I'm not particularly looking for payment, but what I am looking for is support from local governments, from states, and it's virtually nil. In fact, in some of the cases where I'm using the grant to do the work, some officers are even, looking at me and saying I'm stupid because I haven't chopped the grant, or they're asking me what's in it for them, and I'm telling them, well, I'm actually training your teachers, I'm training the community. That should be enough for you, but sometimes it's not. So obviously, over the years, I've got stressed, I've got disappointed, I've got disillusioned, and I just said, you know what, Yomi, this summer I need a break, because if I'm to continue the work, which I do want to continue the work, I don't want to continue the work feeling all negative. It's not the people's that I'm working with's fault. It's not their fault. It's the government's fault. It's the officials' fault. So that is the first reason. The second, apologies for this light, and it seems to be going off and on. I don't know why. Maybe my camera's not that good. So, what's the second reason? The second reason, linked into this compassion fatigue, is the ideological difference that I have with a lot of our political leaders in Nigeria, a lot of our local government staff, a lot of our civil servants. And to be honest, we do talk about corruption. I would say the most corrupt people in Nigeria aren't our political class, because they are few in number. It's our civil servants, our local government staff. So, and what is the ideological difference? The ideological difference is that personally, I would regard myself as a socialist, more leaning towards the left. And why I accept that I am a socialist, I can understand capitalism. And sometimes capitalism is actually not too bad, particularly if you look at capitalism with a social face. They produce things, they make profit, but some of the profit goes into social causes. Some of the profit that the government makes goes into providing resources for the people. The problem I find, and please forgive me, this is my own personal opinion, the problem I find in Nigeria, we are not even a capitalist society. Our leaders are not even capitalists. They are wealth creating minded people. The focus of most people in power in Nigeria, I feel, and that's why it frustrates me, is that they need wealth by any means possible. So they don't even create. What they do is take. They take budgets that are meant for providing social services, education. They take and amass and create wealth for their own showing off. One of the biggest um, fraudulent activities in Nigeria is pensions. People who have been paying pensions, civil servants who have been paying pensions, police who have been paying pensions, the people in charge of those pension pots create wealth by stealing it. We had the mad case of our kleptomaniac, head of the central bank, who stole so much money that is unbelievable. And this goes on in all classes, both federal level, state level, local government level. We are interested in wealth creation any means possible. And it frustrates me. And really, it is not just the leaders, it is also most of us Nigerians. That's all we want. Wealth any means possible. And hence, we are willing to do dubious things and provide childish excuses. To the point, a few months ago, a popular pastor, Pentecostal pastor, even, and I'm not particularly religious. I don't go to church. I don't go to mosque. But a Pentecostal pastor even preached that he has told his congregation not to give money to poor people because Jesus never visited poor people. Now, I do know, when I was part of the Jubilee campaign, that campaign that was actually Christian led to end poverty, to end debt, they quoted the Sermon on the Mount. And the first thing Jesus said was, "Blessed are the poor." So that's what I pointed out to that pastor. Anyway, so those type of things can make you frustrated. And you need a break at times. So that's why I need a break. The third reason why I'm taking a longer break than usual is health matters. I was very lucky, very fortunate that I have in the UK, when I was working in the UK permanently as a social worker, mental health worker, I think it was 8 years ago, or probably more, 2018, I think, 2018, 2018, 17, when I went to my doctor in my late 50s, my doctor said, Yomi, have you done a PSA test? I said, no, what is that? He said, well, he's of Nigerian origin. He always sends all his black men of a certain age to go and do the test. I did the test, and I was seen to have a beginning of prostate cancer. Luckily, I went to, and this is the good thing about the UK, the National Health Service is there. Lots of countries, particularly, for instance, Nigeria don't have a National Health Service. So UK have a National Health Service. I worked for over 20 plus years. I paid NI. I have no qualms using it. But thank God for the well, I say God, but thank for the National Health Service. I went to University College of London Hospital, saw the daddy of robotics surgery, did my keyhole surgery. Then when I moved up to Manchester, I went to Christie's, wonderful hospital. I'm surprised Nigeria doesn't have a Christie's. Well, well, but wonderful hospital. I had the staff, big up to all of them. Went there, did some radiotherapy, go back and forth regularly. And last year, I was told that it's raising a little bit, no big cause for concern, but they just want to assess it. So I came back this summer, and because it's not too serious, obviously there are people who've got more serious cancer issues than me. They had to push my appointments a bit up. So that's why I'm still here. But it's looking good. It's looking good from the scans. So that's the third reason why I'm here. So the first reason I go again, compassion fatigue. It's hard work in Nigeria doing community development, particularly when you don't get any encouragement from the elitist class, the leaders, particularly at the local government level, because I work at the grassroots level. Again, my my annoyance with our ruling class and a lot of the Nigerian population, because we are so wealth driven. We are a wealth creating economy, not even a capitalist economy, a wealth creating economy, which means we want wealth by all means, any way possible, and most of the time that means stealing government funds. So there's no other way. And then finally, my health. As I said, I'm lucky. What I would advise all you black men out there, particularly if you're living in the West where you can do it, if you haven't done your PSA test and you're in your 50s, go and do it. It could save your life. It could prolong your life. So go and do that. Anyway, thank you for listening to me. And if you did like this post, please leave a comment. I'm particularly interested in leaving comments. Yes, subscribe is nice, share is nice, but I'm more particularly interested in people leaving comments, because the purpose of this channel is not to get thousands and thousands of subscribers. If I do that, maybe nice, I can make a few bob there. But more importantly, I want to develop a support group for people in the diaspora who are interested, particularly in moving to Nigeria, particularly Lagos, where I could help out, practical things. We have a support group. And also for those that are generally thinking of moving to another African country, I have a support group to discuss common themes that we need to look at. Anyway, on that note, take care, enjoy the week, and see you next week.